sure everything he writes in the book of infinite magic is sent straight to the hunter's wiki. If he keeps sharing everything he's doing with a Terradrone, he'll never run out of ether. At that moment, the little plant is screaming, "Oh no, another monster, let's go be him." I'm telling you, this guy has medicine in the drawer. When the creatures announce themselves, he falls asleep. Upon arriving, he's in the middle of the sea, and on the other side, he sees a Terradrone coming. The system alerts, the World Eater is injured and needs your help. Our boy is shocked. World Eater? What is that? Where? The Terradrone points down. He's underground. What is this hole here? When he realizes it, water splashes on his face. Beam shakes off the water and dries his leg. Don't tell me I'm standing on the World Eater. Yes, it's the giant whale. Imagine you were so big, and he is gigantic. How big is this? It doesn't even make sense. Does it fit on the planet? You're the World Eater, you rascal. He senses that it's weakened. Now he understands why he was gaining so much essence. It was always for this. Here you go, you rascal, and he throws everything inside it and eat. However, the beast gives him a little stare, getting angry. Our boy wants to know what's happening. Starts shouting. There's a flash in the middle of the sea. The beast turns all white and both fall to the ground exhausted. A system message appears. Thanks to your help, the World Eater has returned to its original form. When he looks, it became tiny. Our boy likes it. He loves a cute creature and gives it a hug. The World Eater is swimming happily, and our boy thinks it was worth the right, Bion? Obviously not. Bion wants everything for himself, greedy.
Good morning.
Oh, what's happening?
Good morning, breakfast.
When he looks, actually, the World Eater brought a feast.
Breakfast tayo,
A bunch of
kain
fish,
tayo.
oysters, snails, and crabs. Our protagonist is amazed. Wow, you're giving me all this. The creature nods. He thanks it, and Bion starts eating. The World Eater then leaves. On the news, of course, they're already talking. Danger, urgent news. An absurdly gigantic creature appeared in the southern part of Korea. Who could it be? Looking for the creature. Oh no, it's not the World Eater, it's a gigantic octopus. I thought it was our dear World Eater. It already jumped on a house. Everyone's running away in fear. The problem is that the hunters haven't arrived yet. Suddenly, someone points out, "Captain, what's that?" When they look, they see what's behind the poor octopus. The guys are terrified, wait a destruction-level creature. The octopus wants to run back to the sea, but it gets sucked in, pulled into the belly of the World Eater, gone. A whale is there at the sea, and the guys are just watching. Hemsek asks the guy, "Wait, so this giant whale
Pahinay na ba?
is
Pahinay.
in contract with someone who awakened for the first time?" The guy says yes, it matches the description of the demigod. Hemsek says
Ngay
they
pa.
have to watch a bit more, but they mention that all the creatures that were
Pistin
near
na.
pushed to Japan. No one understands what's happening. It's chaos. In the library, he and Sunyan are just reading. She
May
brought him a
pistin
bunch
da.
of old books from the kingdom of Israel, hoping to find some information. Our boy thanks her. She asks if he managed to use the map, and he says, unfortunately, it only covers from the beginning
Good
of the
morning.
kingdom to the part by the river. Besides, it was described by some knights of the commander, so it's not very accurate. She's confused. What do you mean it's not perfect? You see everything you know.
Mahaw
Our
ta.
protagonist is thinking, the one who saw
Kain
everything
tayo,
with the
kain.
Terradrome told me, but she can't know that. However, he adds, just adding the southern area of the Tailed Sea will complete the Eastern Kingdom map. At least they will know everything around the region. Sun Young is curious. Why are you so keen on restoring the map? It seems too focused to be just a
Salamat sa
he says he feels
patamsak.
that it will help someone. He's sure the guy Mina is looking for, and Sun Young
Ngayon
is
pa ako
alive
kumain
somewhere
ng
on the
breakfast kasi
continent of
nagano
India.
kami.
He's got unshakable faith. He found the guy's
Nagbayanihan
sword
sa
completely destroyed, which means he's alive. Fire
dito
Boy is
sa amin
confident
puro
with the World Tree's ability. He's sure he'll find it. Sun Young asks curiously, "Are you trying to help a good friend? Who is she? Tell me." Our boy says it's not like that. She says, I see. Well, I'm going to sleep because I have to wake up early tomorrow. Our boy says, all right then, goodbye, my worry. But before she leaves, he reminds her to pick up a potion in the mornings if they're doing Dungeon Number 3. She agrees, thanks and leaves. Our boy is happy with her visit as she helped him gather more information. He creates
Thank
a
you
new
po.
school called the School of Pursuit. It allows finding
Teaching
a young person to a
fee.
trace of their location. Our boy is thinking of Hyjin, Altarian Sap. He wants to help the warrior.
Thank you, Sising. Sising.
Seeing her walking back and forth. Why didn't you use it for the guy you want to find, you fool? It's fine since he can make infinite specials anyway. Beam comes along, gives him a look.
Thank you for visiting my life.
Back to the dream world. Strangely, the
Kain
water
tayo.
is clearer. He wonders if it's all thanks to the world here. Even the solar apples have leveled up. He visits the Terradrone gang.
Thank you po.
Oh no, it was just the angle. Our boy apologizes for the delay. He was very busy reading. The rascal brings a bunch of seeds from some food for him. Our protagonist is impressed. The quantity has increased a lot compared to before. He thanks them. The leader points upward, and our boy wonders. What is it? He starts climbing. He can't even climb. All right, here we go. When he reaches the top, he can see everything around. He recognizes a mountain in the distance as Mount Peo, and this really proves that the entire concept is started. At that moment, Bion looks down angrily, wanting to get down to eat. The but now he's stuck. It's easy to climb up, but hard to get down. As he starts to descend, something grabs him. It squeezes and he sees a
Karno,
plant
tawidig
staring.
lang ang
He
ulam
gets
ko.
scared, and the plant gets scared too. He calls out for help. Liam, save me. No, it just made a path for him. They are all affection. Our boy says, sorry, thank you for
Haggard kasi galing ano,
realizes wow is just a key.
galing naglinis sa kalsada.
Should I add this to the Hunter's Wiki too?
Bayanihan sa ano
He
namin.
knows he'll have to cross this whole plain to reach
Purok.
Mount Mayo. He remembers that this is the direction that people who flow from the Eastern Kingdom went. According to the Pteranodon's information, this might also be the direction Han Sungyeon, who disappeared, went. The map shows that following the Tails River also gets you close to Mount Pedo. Heading south of the mountain might be a good idea to find traces of Sungyeon. But when he gets there, he hits a barrier. This is as far as he can go. So he asks the Pteranodon for help. While they
Thank you sa nagtamsak.
Problem is,
Thank you
when
po.
he's shouting for him to come over. Strange.
Shout
Beyond
out
usually
sa
sticks
lahat.
around, but never goes this far. He hears something and looks over. It's the crazy carnivorous plant trying to talk to him. Our boy is now worried. Where's Beyond? He bangs his head on the table of the shop. Beyond, where did you go without me? We did so much together. At that moment, Haijun and Kyung-suk enter the shop. She asks, what's wrong with you?
Hello po, brown camera. Hello po.
This guy next to you? He introduced himself but keeps talking. He grabs a potion and tells our protagonist that what he has is
How are you?
Our protagonist thanks him, saying he will make tea for them. It seems our boy called her because she says, I was surprised you called me first. Our boy says he has something
I
to
made
tell her.
breakfast.
She curious responds to me. He says, I was studying an ancient book and found something you might like. She looks at it. Scroll of change, trace. The protagonist says, this will help you find Sungyeon. Kyung-suk asks, did you make a scroll? How did you translate an ancient book? Haijun interrupts, we keep that a secret, right? Jia confirms. Kyung-suk then asks, Mr. Jihad, did you make a contract with a divine creature? Our protagonist wonders to himself, does he already know about the demographics?
Hello, sis Angie Mendoza, New Zealand.
You don't have to tell me your abilities and how you use them or not as
Thank you for visiting sa live ko.
a very important person in South Korea now. Our protagonist says, me? The guy explains, thanks to your potions, the survival rate of hunters has increased by 20%. The Hunters Association owes you a debt, so I came here to give you this. If you need anything, we will support you. Our protagonist feels...
Tingin ako sa live mo kahapon, sis. O gabi ba yun? Kahapon.
Haijun interrupts, wait, you said you wanted to talk to him personally. The guy replies, I am talking to him personally here. Haijun apologizes to our protagonist, saying she didn't know Hyun-suk would come here for this business. He's a maniac.
Nagbiyahe
Our boy
ka?
says it's alright, he appreciates
Travel ka?
everything. The next time he will make a good meal for everyone. The guy thanks him, takes a bunch of potions and leaves. Haijun comments, he's like that, only likes to work. Our protagonist says it's kind of cute.
Thank you.
They go inside to talk.
Salamat,
He sits next to
Witching
him and
Fee.
asks, what are you writing? He says, wait, I'm finishing up. He draws a castle and a lake. She asks, wait, is this the Eastern Kingdom's castle?
For always
He
support
explains,
sa live
"You see a
ko.
place returning similar to this drawing is the scroll that you're thinking of Sungyeon. If he's nearby or has any trace of him, the scroll will tell you where he is. He wants to show her how it works.
Hi, Vanessa.
She thanks him teary-eyed. Thank you so much. He says, it's okay.
Lemusa.
He's alive somewhere, and I will help you as much as I can. She says he's such a kind person. He responds, it's nothing. Friends should always help each other. She gets closer, asking, do you need help with anything? Tell me. He thinks, oh, she's getting too close. She asks, where's Bia? Where did he go? He says, he ran
Bigyan kita ng moderator, sis Vanessa.
Transforming, becoming gigantic. Even with his weakened body being destroyed hundreds or thousands of times, the Guardians hold their position until the last moment, and the prey of the god Arctis has come to find you. It seems Bia was hunting someone. He finds a little wolf trapped by goblins in chains, the one who conveys the will of the god Grower. It's bad for the poor wolf, surrounded by 200 goblins.
Main channel mo ba to, brown camera?
Growling every
Kasi bigyan kita ng moderator. I'll give you a moderator.
He walks through them without saying anything. He sends a message, Schumann, all those enslaved by evil. The goblins run away. He then talks to the little wolf, who looks at him and says, what are you
Vanessa
doing here, you
Climacosa.
cowardly apprentice?" It seems the creature
I'll give
has
you a
two
moderator,
names, Arctis
sis.
and Bion. Bion breaks his chain and says, your torment ends here, Growler. Growler responds, you arrogant.
Bakit mission
Bion
restricted?
explains, the restoration of the world tree has begun. Growler sits, only the will of God can guide me. Get out of here, you stinky cat. Bion bites him on the neck to take that. Growler asks, what are you doing, master? Bion says, boy, you forgot I'm the procurator of God. If I say you go, you go.
Brown camera.
Then see our boy with his
Bulol
friends
kalula ako.
all standing in front of the castle. It looks like the castle.
Brown camera. Are you here?
Thanks them for coming with him. Sun Young says, no problem. Compared to the potions you gave us, it's worth it. But why did you want to come here? This is just an empty
Do you
dungeon.
hear me?
The protagonist
I'll give you a
explains that
moderator.
Black Lion Commander helped some survivors escape during the war.
If you heard
There might
me.
be some kind of secret tunnel. Sun Yang responds, "Oh, I didn't consider that. Maybe there really is something here." The Mohawk Knight says, "I don't care about mentioning the fallen kingdom. I just hope there's some insane artifact inside." The sword he's using, the Mohawk Knight's sword, not only gives good stats, but also increases the group's damage by 7%.
Di ako nakalive ng maaga kasi may ginagawa kami.
The guy looks at it. This is just a normal artifact. At least it has a good quality.
May ginagawa kaming mga ano, mga ka-neighborhood namin, mga ka-neighborhood, kapitbahay.
Recently received an item analysis skill. That's all. Everyone is impressed. Wow.
Nagbayanihan kami sa kalsada.
The armor guy asks,
Ang init. Tapos lang kaya ang haggard.
our boy checks light chest armor increases defense by 10%, critical defense by 5%. That's it. The mage congratulates him for finally getting a skill and he thanks everyone. All happy. The knights are ecstatic. The skill is amazing. All going to get rich. Let's go. He hits them on the head. How dare you think it was a boy? They apologize. Sun Yang tells him,
Please like and subscribe my channel.
with something like this, we'll find blue
Sa hindi pa nakatamsak dyan.
He laughs. Got it. But our boy thinks it makes sense. We continue walking along the wall. He thinks it might be good to ask Helmset later how to use his skills better.
Happy Saturday sa lahat.
The knight points to a part of the wall destroyed by monsters. On the other side is the Tails River, much larger than anyone imagined, and the water is extremely clear. Our boy stands near it thinking, this place looks very deep. How did they make a tunnel here? He needs to check the back of Mount Peña.
Sis Angie Mendoza, New Zealand, thank you sa pagbisita sa live
At that
ko.
moment, the scroll of Hope in Sun Yang's backpack activates, the one that increases the chance of receiving a special item by 70%. Our boy suddenly stands up, staring everyone. She looks confused, but he stood up because he saw she was falling into the water like an idiot. There she goes again, drowning. Our boy heroically dives in, swimming like Michael Phelps to save her. But something's on his back. Look who it is. It's the world eater, but very small. Save them both. Outside, he tells her to wake up. You crazy, you're all drowned. A while later, they're back on solid ground. Our boy thanks the world eater for saving them both. Then Su Yang calls him from afar, telling him to take a look. There's a strange magic circle with a small cauldron. Our protagonist is delighted. They thank the world eater and say goodbye. Su Yan wonders, am I cursed without knowing? I keep falling all the time. The little knight tells her, at least she got that brooch. It seems good. In her hand is the artisan's last brooch. She asks our boy, does this have any special function? He examines it, production artifact. Increases the quality of hand techniques by 10%. She's amazed, really. She tears out some pages from the book and makes an origami dragon. Our boy says this artifact is perfect for her. It would be perfect for me too for my potions, but it's her power too. The knight says, let's head back, the dungeon's about to close. Our boy thinks that it says we'll see you tomorrow. It turns out that the writing on the ground taught how to make a dimensional portal. Using the power granted by the gods, you can open a portal to a different dimension. You can return by drawing the same circle. Our protagonist is hopeful. I found a magic circle. I got lucky. If I can figure out the secret behind this, maybe I can learn how the pterodons can travel so easily from the garden to the real world. He returns to the shop saying, well, I'm back. But then he remembers the rascal isn't there. However, he's as confident as ever. A psychopath who believes in everything. I'm sure he'll come back soon. I'll be to work. Back in the garden, he calls the kids, but where are they? Looking around, there's no one. When he looks to the side, he sees BM, gigantic, with a little wolf in his mouth. Our boy asks, you rascal, did you grow so much? And who's this stray dog in your hand? He takes a closer look. Roller, the messenger of God, asks for your help. Do you want to take care of the boy, yes or no? Our boy, of course, accepts. The creature begins to
Dilim kasi
the
ano.
power of the world tree flows into growing. He starts to regain his strength. He glares at our protagonist.
Sa'yo ba mo nag-click pa niya, Tineros?
There's nothing he can do. Our boy grabs him because he's cute. Jian names him Doggo, like a little dog. Truly a prodigy of creativity. Doggo doesn't like it, but Bion says, just accept it now. This is your new home. A while later, the number of pterodons has increased significantly since Doggo arrived. It's probably because of his characteristics, demigod, and the master's will. It increases affinity and leadership of animals by 1.1, and also increases everyone's speed by 1.2. Giga says this is very good. It means that just by growing and getting stronger, everyone gets stronger. Not to mention he still has the persistent hunter ability, detecting any movement within 2 kilometers. With Doggo leading, we will quickly reach Mount Peña. The harvest is yielding a mountain of aether thanks to the kids. He picks the special fruit to give as a present. He's eager to eat apple. The greedy BM comes and steals it. A fight breaks out. Our boy has to separate them, saying, Hey, you two rascals, stop fighting. At that moment, the little plant sends a warning. Someone's at the shop. He returns, placing the two on the ground, telling them they're fat for eating too much. At that moment, the guys from the association are entering the shop. Doggo is feasting, already glaring at them. One of them says, man, we got another one who asked me. Kingsuk greets our protagonist, saying, I didn't expect you to invite me so soon. He feels a bit embarrassed. It's a big surprise. Kingsuk cuts to the chase. Is it true what you told me before? You can see the characteristics of artifacts. Our protagonist confirms. But here he is, using a gill.
Shout out sa lahat.
In the table with frustration,
Rinig niyo bang
Joe
TV?
says, calm down, my lawyer. The worst part
Guys,
is
rinig yung
thinking
TV.
she finds out it's Jiha will be even worse. She doesn't know a thing. She's upset, saying, I can't believe the reservations are full
Kain
of
tayo.
already." Joey says, Miss, it's your fault for not being quick enough. She grabs him, you bastard. How could you do this to me? You should have told me earlier. Choi explains, I'm not the one in control, it's Kyungsuk. There's nothing I can do. The location was decided just yesterday. Besides, you told me I could use the basement for anything. She looks at a bunch of stacks and says, it'll take, I don't know, 2 years to analyze all this. Do something about it, and only have some privilege since they're using our place. He says, I don't know, I'm leaving, I have a lot to do. Your time will come eventually, just wait and don't cause me trouble. She sits down angrily, thinking, where did this master cat come from? Who is this guy? If I find out, I'll make him my appraisal slave. Our boys' ears are burning. They won't stop talking about him. Our protagonist is explaining to Choi how to make high-quality potions. You have to shake it like this, my friend. That way the potion goes from special to very special. Choi looks, wow, we did it the same way, but yours has a 16-second duration and mine 11. What's happening? Our protagonist says it could be a variation in the quality of the ingredients, but in reality it's because he's already a level 3 alchemist, but no one knows. However, at least they made enough to sell tomorrow. Our protagonist thanks him for his presence, saying that with him here, the shop will produce faster. Koi says that he and the president of the Hunters Association are to recruit alchemists. Good potions like these can't just be sold here. We need to open more and more shops. Please keep him more sensitive. Our boy says that he needs to capture him, having only started as an alchemist recently. A while later, when they leave, he's exhausted and thinks, let's go to the garden. I'll just fall asleep. Upon arriving, the pterodon are busy with their harvest, creating mountains of hay.
Ulan?
Our boy says, come here, kids, and they come happily jumping into his lap. Of course, they also
Ulan.
argue with each other. The little night pterodon comes and points in a direction.
Pan.
Our protagonist
Taliksik.
the problem. Brawler jumps and gestures with his head to call it two.
Taliksik.
He follows with the mosquito gang and wild dogs. Approaching, a system message appears. Creatures have appeared in the Great Plains.
Biglang umulan.
Brawler demonstrates his command abilities. Wow,
Mahina
so
lang.
tiny compared to him. With one
Ito yung
paw,
nakaano.
everyone flies away. The system says the pterodrone army successfully
Yan ang
destroyed
sakit.
all creatures.
Ulan,
The
init.
pterodrone evolved after receiving a demigod's blessing. A new species appears.
Sobrang
Down shining in the
init
skies,
kanina.
comes into our boy's
Ngayon
hand.
biglang umulan.
Pterodrone explorer. Due to your contribution, the plane begins to be cleared. A new area of Mateo has been unlocked. So that's how it works.
Ito yung
Our boy praises
sipon.
everyone for their good work, especially Dago, who's all smug. Did you see my skills, kid? PM says that he's too precious to get
Biglang
involved.
ulan.
The fight starts again, and our boy has to grab them. Let's go to Mount Pedo and Rasmus. He hopes to find some clue. After walking a lot, he finally finds the base used by the Black Lion Knights group. Considering the base is here in the south, it seems there's some kind of passage halfway, a tunnel in the mountain. When our boy tries to pass, a message appears.
Vanessa Klimakusa, but restricted yung
Direct
message
physical
mo.
interference with Gehenna is now prohibited. Regarding your fate, the effects of being a representative of the divinities have now been applied. Communication with Gehenna entities is now possible. Gina understands that now he can't do what he did before when he created a space in the ground with a slab. From now on, he
Nagutom
will
ako
have to
kasi
act more like
ano
a
na,
commander. The problem is, how will he command the creatures if he can't go beyond this?
9:30 na.
The system provides a solution, divine vision ability.
Pasko pa lang to.
You can see the area from God's perspective. Our protagonist activates it and starts floating, hovering in the sky. He sees everything from above and is impressed, but he instantly notices something. It seems his vision can be everywhere at once. An army of humans surrounded by orcs. Our protagonist wonders, could these be the surviving kingdom people who disappeared? The battle is intense, with
Bayad
creatures
pa
walking around.
pala ngayon
Our
sa ano,
protagonist
nasangla
sees a
kong
long guy fighting fiercely.
alahas.
Could that be the captain? Someone calls out Eddie, the captain's name, and our boy recognizes him instantly.
Shout out sa iyo, Ian
Searching for him.
Ian
Eddie says,
Brent
"Hey,
Rodriguez.
these
Hello
forces
po.
are coming. They seem to be emerging from the plains. Chuck, confused, says,
Kain po
"I don't know
tayo."
how this is happening." The cool guy kicks a board down the mountain, saying they could at least bring some food. At this rate, we'll have to eat monsters. Eddie assures him, relax, but you starve. Sonia replies,
Ian
"I've
Brent
told you many times
Rodriguez.
that Pig Horrorjack is working with the Baron.
Mintsana mo ba yan?
Supplies. If you authorize it, I'll find where they're hiding everything, my dear prince." Eddie declines, "No, thank you." Our protagonist recognizes that the Wand guy is the prince of the Estran kingdom. With that, Sonia leaves with his men. The mission appears for our protagonist: rebuild the survivors' village.
Bigyan
We found
kita
the
ng
survivors
ano,
of the Estran
jacket.
kingdom who were defeated by the undead forces and escaped. The survivors currently hiding in Mount Pedo are struggling with numerous monsters and food shortages. Mission: restore the possession of the Estran kingdom to the prince, reinstating him as the rightful owner. Mission 2.
Ayan, binigyan na kita ng jacket. I'll give you a moderator na. Salamat sa pagpunta sa live ko.
He's never received a mission with so many details before. Is this some kind of story mode? But it doesn't matter. Just finding Sonya is already great.
Kain tayo
Angel will be
breakfast.
thrilled with this news. He has to find her, but then shakes his head. First, I need to bring him back. I can't physically interfere with their world. How will I do this? Then he remembers, actually I can. I just can't do it myself. He calls the
Hello
terror.
sis, Yankee Mix Channel.
First, do you know what this magic circle does? The captain points in a direction.
Salamat
They get
sa
there, they find two
palaging
circles.
support,
Our protagonist
sis.
realizes that they're using ether to activate them. He throws it in the middle, and it starts glowing.
Kain tayo,
Our protagonist
sis.
understands
Sis
that
Yankee
the
Mix
circle
Channel,
is
kain
entrance,
tayo.
yellow is the exit. Terrarians jump into the green
Breakfast ko
circle.
pa to kasi ano,
Our
nagbayanihan
protagonist
kami.
says, "Wow, it's really a teleportation
Salamat sa
system.
patamsak,
The survivors
sis.
probably use this instead of a tunnel. The exit must be somewhere near
Thank
Mount
you
Pedo.
for always
If you can
support,
find where it is,
sis, sa
then
channel
go
ko.
back." He asks the pterodon, "Do you also use the magic circle to go back and forth between the garden and the real world?" They make effects with their hands. Gia asks, "And how do you go so easily from the garden to here?" The captain points to the world tree. "What?
Ian
The world
Brent
tree is the
Rodriguez,
bird
sarap
that
naman.
Still
Sarap
confused,
kasi nagutom na
thanks
ako.
everyone for the hard work and
Anong
asking
oras na?
Look around Mount Pedo for any kind of magic circle and to notify him if they find one. The scene shifts to the survivors' camp. The soldiers have gone to
Nagutom na ako kasi breakfast ko pa to kasi nagbayanihan kami sa ano namin.
Eddie speaks to Horrorjack.
Naglinis sa kalsada.
Horrorjack says,
Hindi ako sanay mag breakfast ng
Eddie retorts.
tanghali na kasi yung breakfast ko 6:30.
Eddie tells Horrorjack to calm down enough of this. Eddie then asks Horrorjack, "What can we do to get this
Ayun,
supplies?"
ano lang kami.
Horrorjack says, "I'm not a greedy ass." But at that moment, Baron Braun appears, interrupted. Maybe
Kakatapos lang namin, ang hagal ko nga oh.
Are you serious? The Baron
Kasi ang init, sobrang init. Tapos bigla na lang nag-umulan no. Kakauwi ko lang, umulan.
The Baron explains that's why I mentioned the wild elf. I got some information from one of them. There's a place in this valley where you can easily find mithril deep within Mount Pedo. Horrorjack adds, clearly with more mithril, you could get a lot more food. The soldiers get angry, but Eddie says it's okay. What's the way to this valley? The Baron says it's to the south at the top of the mountain, but he isn't sure. The only way to find it.
Namaga yung kamay
I
ko.
understand. I'll do it. The Baron
Na
asks,
ano?
"Are you really going to do it?" Eddie replies, "The kingdom of the Strand has fallen,
Sa itak.
but I still have much
Sa kakalinis.
I will let the people who follow me start. Braum says, okay then, we'll be waiting for your return to go out and sell Winterfell as soon as you get back. Good idea, Jack says. But then he adds, I will go with you when Winterfell back.
Dito sa amin, lakas ng ulan. Ay, maulan pala dyan. Ian. Ian Brent.
I believe you will once a stranger too. The Baron reluctantly agrees. All right then, we'll do.
Ano ulam mo sis? Sis Yankee, ano lang?
I know you like to play a hero.
Carne norte lang with egg. Pero parang sarap yung kain ko kasi gutom na.
For those who were shipping her with the protagonist, sorry, that dream is shattered. Eddie reassures, don't worry, I'll make sure you come back alive. We then see a girl with white hair and clothes in front of an altar, praying to a deity named Ark to hear her prayers.
Sana all nakalinis na. Oo nga.
Just a little longer. We then see the
Maaga kami naglinis.
A long time ago, the kingdom of the Strand existed.
May mga kasama ako, kapitbahay.
People lived peaceful and happy
Every
lives
first
before the monsters began.
Saturday of the month, maglinis kami sama-sama magkapitbahay sa kalsada.
They still suffered from creature attacks and food shortages. Baron Braum and Richard Borajak had a trade license with the wild elves, allowing them to get food. In the end, Ed, Sin, and Miki raised their swords for the people. Our protagonist, overseeing the scene from above, thinks,
Ian
so
Brent
this is the story of this place.
Rodriguez dito,
I was
ano,
also angry. These guys are trying to
init, ulan. Pero ano man lang, mahina man lang yung ulan.
They have tough skin, heal quickly, have little intelligence, but can destroy anything in their path. Helping these people, just with this vision ability, is tough. Sin and Yuki are strong enough that no one can defeat them. And Ed has already defeated all the members of the Black Knight Legion. They have a chance, but it won't be easy. Ed hears a voice, omniscient Ark. Please hear this prayer. Our protagonist is hearing the voice of the girl with white hair praying. He's confused. What's going on? Who is this? She's a wonderful girl asking for bravery for the people.
Sa inyo dyan, sis Yankee.
Selena requests your help. She
Ano
pleads
na?
for your salvation.
Anong
Mission
gawa
3,
natin?
highest
Anong,
prophet of God.
ano nga
Spread
natin
your beliefs
ngayon?
by helping people for Saint Selena. And then extra mission. When Selena prays, you have 3 minutes to speak and exchange.
Nakasilip lang ako
Our
sa ano
protagonist is
kanina.
impressed. Wow, can I use this? She seems confused.
Live
Wait
mo
a second
kasi.
here. Apparently, his voice went straight into her head. Whoa, she heard
Nag-ano
me.
kami
Before
kayo na.
doing anything, I need to
Yun nga,
organize everything in
linis.
the garden. He returns
Kaya
to the
sumilip
garden.
lang ako kanina
Pterodon
sa doon.
controllers are all wearing sunglasses. Why are you wearing those, my children?
Maulan ba
He
dyan sa
gathers
inyo,
all the warriors
sis
of
Yankee?
explorers, explaining that he has an urgent mission.
Ayun.
They need to find the magic circle in Mount Peggy. The explorers
Tuloy
need to
na,
keep an eye
umulan
on
na
the
talaga.
survivors there. If anything happens, they should
Pero
be ready. The bravest of them
may
stays with
init
him
at
for
saka
important
ulan.
tasks. He needs to deliver his sword to Prince Isco. Their current
Ito yung
weapons are
nakasipon.
special. Look at this
Ubo.
party of brave ones, he says. Doggo asks Beal, are you going to let him go like this? Beal replies, it's not time yet. He still needs more power to deal with the
Ah.
princess. Until then, he can only wait.
Mabuti
Doggo
kasi
frustrated
mainit
says,
na.
I'm tired of waiting. I'll die from waiting too long.
Mainit na,
Another
sis.
argument breaks out. You then see Braum and Cole
Buti,
Jack
uminit na dyan sa inyo. Dito na namin sa amin ulan.
The prince is gone now. This is perfect for us. The Baron replies, he may be royalty, but he's still just a child. This world isn't easy enough.
Kaya nga, naglaba ako.
Braum laughs and he hopes
Ka
the next thing
kahapon ako naglaba sis. Kasi kahapon init.
Cole Jack says that the wild
Buti nga, naglaba ako kahapon. Kasi,
He tested it
ano,
on the captured orcs.
ngayon
The
umulan na.
effect is incredible. Just a sniff and the orcs go crazy. The guys are giving drugs to the
Kaya,
orcs.
kaya nga yung live ko kahapon, gawaing bahay yun. Kasi naghapon ako, naglaba, naglinis, naghugas ng plato, kahit ano. Lahat ng gawain dito kahapon. Nano ko kasi linis kami sa kalsada ngayon. Kaya laba ako kahapon.
Our protagonist sees it all thinking, yeah, scoundrel. He focuses on Selena's house. Hey girl, say a prayer.
Ngayon palang umulan dito. Pero, kaya nga, ulan, init. Ito, maulan. Pero mainit. Ito yung nakasakit ng ulo.
This leader is ruthless. The ogre takes a hit to the leg, falling awkwardly to the ground. A sword straight to the spine. These guys are ruthless, painting the forest red. Songyuk says, hey Ed, is there another sword? No man, mine's already trashed. Ed replies, no worries, I just wish the sword wouldn't break, Songyuk says. Suddenly, so proving far away. Now it's just the drug that works. They charge at the unfortunate guy standing there. His stoic expression is unshakable. Samyuk warns him to be careful, but something strange happens. Something passes through the orc. It is confused. We switch back to Selena, beautiful and praying. Please protect this land, the prince, and his people. The system alerts. First prayer completed. Selena, a disciple of Ark, has successfully offered a prayer. You can send God's apostles to assist the disciple. Our protagonist is confused. What's this? He clicks yes. The mission reads, God's apostle, Terradrone Knights. He confirms, and his little companion shines get hyped up. Back in the fight, the ogre takes a hit to the chin. Look who's beating it easily. Another orc comes to strike, but gets blocked and knocked down. It stands straight, having done nothing so far. Samyuk tries not to snap out of it. Ed glances, and they both run toward the ogre's leg. One jumps on its back, the other on its couch. Slash here, slash there. Samyuk says it wasn't deep enough. It warns him to be careful. He gets thrown far away again. The wolf still standing. I thought he was dead. The others help him up, telling him to be careful. Meanwhile, the Terradrone is in a war-mode fight. No other approaches. The Terradrone and sends it flying into the other. Perfect hit butt, always romantic. The Terradrone is standing tall, wings ahead. Ed is confused. Why is this monster helping us? Our protagonist in the sky is impressed. Terradrones seem much stronger since becoming God's apostles. The only downside is the high essence cost to maintain them, but it's the only way to help. The system asks, do you want to extend God's apostle duration? Requires 5 essences for every 10 minutes. Our protagonist decides to continue supporting them. Ed recognizes the golden light as a symbol of Ark. The ogres get up, growling, going to die here, you green bastards. Poor Samyuk struggles to stand after the intense hit. Ed asks, are you okay? You still fight. Suddenly, Samyuk stands up saying, yes, he was just acting. These ogres have high resistance. The long battle is a disadvantage for us. We need to finish them in 3 minutes. It challenges him, show me that. The ogre charges at the Terradrone and grabs his arm. Samyuk rushes in. Since you like healing, let's end you before you can. He activates a speed boost, his blade glowing, leaps stylishly into the sky, and slashes the ogre's neck, decapitating it. Our protagonist is impressed. Wow, he killed a berserker over in one hit. The number 1 hunter is truly different. But then Samyuk's blade breaks in half. He laughs, saying he used too much ether on the blade. A blinding flash occurs during the Terradrone and ogre fight. Samyuk sees the beast charging at him and gets scared. The ogre falls dead. Struggling to get up, he says, today's not my day. Ed comments, you're drawing a lot of attention today. It would be easier if I had a good sword, Samyuk replies. They thank the Terradrone, now looking fluffy and gigantic. It turns and flies away. They wave goodbye. Back in the protagonist's hand, he says, good job. In the church, a worker brings food to the saint, saying she'll get sick if she doesn't eat. The kind and wonderful saint insists
Sold
on
na,
giving food
busog
to
na
the
ako.
child instead. She returns to her prayer. Art, please, bring some hope to our poor souls. That's when she heard a voice asking if Selena could hear him. She started crying,
Venus
saying she
Pangilinan.
was God.
Pangit ng live mo. Di, huwag kang punta dito kung pangit yung live ko.
Selena, excited, said she would pass on this information.
Hindi naman to pagandahan ng live.
Seeing that there were only 8 seconds left in the conversation, he told her.
Huwag ka nang pumunta pag pangit yung live ko. Ba't dito ka?
He was disconnected, leaving Selena confused. Our protagonist.
Wala kang magawa, no?
The Baron muttered to himself that it was better to leave. At that moment, she looked back and saw him retreating. She spoke to the heavens, saying she would take his words to heart. With that resolve, she had to do his part. In the forest, Eddie asked his friend.
Bakit? Maganda ba yung live mo?
He had been through similar situations many times. Everyone wondered what those monsters were doing. Geo's creatures were busy collecting crystals until someone called out.
Venus Pangilinan.
It was a maid. Confused, he asked why she came.
Alis ka na kung napangitan ka sa live ko.
The woman said she brought a message from the saint. Selena told him to go east because there he would find what he was looking for. Samyuk was confused because the mithril was supposed to be to the north. Eddie asked if Selena said he would find it, and the woman said she didn't know that she had received an oracle. He asked Eddie what he thought, and Eddie said he had no idea, leaving the decision to him since he was the captain. Eddie suggested that maybe there was
Baka sako ka ngayon dyan.
and if that was the case, they should go there to find out if it was true. He turned to the knights and said they would move separately, and they agreed. Samyuk ran and grabbed the guy's sword, but Eddie told him to relax because he would give him a much better sword later.
Pangit yung live. Maganda naman ang yung nag-live. Tuwan ko sa'yo.
She approached, asking why he was there, and he said he had a favor to ask. She invited him in and he finished. Inside, she asked if he
Pangit yung live ko, pero maganda naman yung nag-live.
confused, she asked why he used his sword. She
O,
asked
diba?
that Samyuk was in Keen at that moment. She seemed emotional, asking if that was really true. He said yes, and that he had told her earlier because he didn't want to give false hopes. Excited, she stood up, saying she would do anything to help, and ran upstairs, asking him to wait a minute. Moments later, she returned with Sungwook's sword, with a symbol of the contractor's roller, which only the contractor could use. Jiha said the sword of the warrior's pride was incredible. She was confused, asking how he already knew the name. He revealed that he was the so-called Master Cat. When he went to grab the sword,
Wala ka talagang magawa
she
sa buhay
explained that
mo.
Sungwook's sword had much more
Kundi
than
pang
other
lait.
warriors' weapons. He started putting it in his bag, thanking her for lending it to him. Outside, she thanked him for everything. He said it was alright. He would find a way
Pumasok
to
ka lang para manglait.
Aijin smiled, saying she believed he would because he was a
Hindi
incredible
ako
person.
affected dyan.
Avoid lush, but said he had to go. Back at the shop, he wondered where the troublemakers were. They were right at the door.
Kala mo lang pangit, pero maganda, maganda ako.
Dago nudged Jiva's foot, and Jiva realized maybe he would go with him. He petted him, saying it was okay since he must have his reasons. With that, they were in the forest. Meanwhile, Sungwook and Eddie were arriving in front of the castle. Eddie
Ikaw lang
remembered
yung
that this was the
nagsabing
place they used to
pangit.
stay. Knowing there must be something there,
Pero
they decided to go
maganda.
in. However,
Maganda
someone was
ako.
watching them from behind. Inside, they discussed how Mount Pedo had many tunnels. Sungwook asked if the place where Eddie was found was nearby. Eddie said yes and asked when he was going to repay the favor. The friend jokes that he was an anxious guy and the creatures he had already killed.
Maganda
With that, he
ako.
laughs, saying he was just kidding. Then Eddie tells him to stop because he found something. They both look down and say it looks very suspicious. It would be strange for a trap to be marked with an X on the ground. Sungwook taps the ground.
Hindi ako masira sa comment mo,
Even
no?
with a simple touch, the ground starts to break. Within a second, the entire floor collapses. He tells his friend that now the favor is fully repaid. And he tells him to activate the
Buti pa
ether
mag-live ka
sword to
sa'yo.
use it as a torch, which he doesn't like. However, as they walk a bit
Ikaw
further,
yung
something
mag-live.
catches their attention. They see a strange golden sword stuck in a stone. Sungwook asks if Ed knows that one. He says that sword is the seal of the kingdom of Istra and goes to take it, wondering how it got there. The moment Ed raises the sword, the protagonist starts receiving multiple achievements for Prince and Inspo breaking the seal. Now the prince was recognized by Ark, communication was possible. He even received the observation ability, allowing him to see the potential allies. Gio was smiling, thanking Ed, observing the Valley of Griffins. He wondered why people were gathering there. His system message said Terradrons were there and asked him to support them. As always, he said yes. He saw the entire army and wanted to test the new ability he received. Seeing that the Terradrons' experience bar was at 95%, he knew there was at least one more evolution. The only problem was that the creature was already very strong. What would happen if he made it even more powerful? However, seeing that many other Terradrons also had experience bars, he knew the ability would be very useful. But first, they needed to defeat these griffins. So he poured a bunch of experience points into the kids. Just then, Doggo appeared, calling for him. Gio turned and asked what the problem was. At the same moment, the dog jumped into his bag and he asked if he was hungry. But Doggo stole the sword and Jiha told him to stop because it was dangerous. Strangely, Doggo ran to a portal and stood
Time out ko si Venus Pangilinan. Kasi pumunta lang dito ng babas.
However, it would cost 2,000 essences and the system warned that if it
Pangit daw
failed, he would
live ko.
return to form. Gia only had 2,300 essences but didn't want to disappoint his friend. So he withdrew everything, saying
Hello po.
blinding light enveloped the area and all the essence energy passed the dog. A while later, Gia found himself in a space. When he opened his eyes, the dog was gigantic in front of him. He hesitantly petted it, asking if it was his friend. But the creature wasn't happy and made a face. A voice said it had been waiting for this moment with the apostle of God and advised him to stop being called by that ridiculous name. Gia started sweating, saying he didn't realize he disliked it so much. However, the dog turned, saying it wasn't about disliking it, just that he didn't like that type of name. That it thanked him, saying because of him, the world had another chance. Poor Jiha, feeling embarrassed, seems a bit confused. The dog warned that his mission from now on was crucial. Whether the entire world would be destroyed or restored depended on Jiha. A light appeared, and the dog said it was out of time, telling Jiha to become stronger.
Ni-remove ko yung buzzer.
Jiha said he was already too old to be called a child. Once again, he was blinded by the light and woke up in the
Buzzer
forest,
na yan.
lying in the grass, confused about what had happened. He got up, exhausted. and
Sinira
said he
yung
needed to
araw
stay
kong
focused. However,
Venus
determined,
na yun.
knowing that Growler said his mission was crucial, he would do his best. A Terradrone flew to him and he said he was fine. He took a book and said it was time to return to hunting griffins. He started writing another spell. The scene shifted to a
Sa'yo na
waterfall
kung
with
electric
30
fan.
flying griffins. While walking through the mountains, they couldn't believe they'd found the seal and had been lost. Sungwook, angry, said he wanted a weapon for himself. He turned to Ed and warned him that he needed to learn to draw his sword before hearing excuses, especially since if he didn't, the Baron would turn against him. Confidently, Sungwook said he would slit the Baron's throat if necessary. But Ed replied that they did bad things. Sungwook sighs, saying that if Ed wants to keep being cool, he can go ahead. But then Ed looks up, and something seems to catch his attention. The entire mountain's glowing, and they have no idea what's happening. Back to Jiha writing in the book, he's observing the fight and noticing that the terror drones are winning in numbers. The problem is, while the terror drones can only fly forward, the griffins have full control of the air and can change direction. The only one who has a chance is the terror drone knight. Then he sees a group coming out of a cave carrying a net and looking determined. Jiha smiles, thinking it's a great idea. The nets are thrown towards the griffins, managing to trap some of them. However, the fight is still tough, and the terror drones are struggling as somebody shines next to Jiha. The potential of the terror drone knight has reached 100%. The little one raises his arm, and now he has received the shockwave ability. Jiha watches as he raises his glowing purple claw and strikes down. The energy sweeps over all the griffins. Jiha gives a thumbs up, saying that was amazing. From a distance, Eddie and Sunyuk are blinded by the light. They recognize that it's the same beetle from before and realize they might be coming to help them. If that's the case, they decide to join the fight. Suddenly, a giant beetle appears in front of them. Before they can say anything, the beetle draws a house on the ground. They are confused, not knowing what it means, but seeing the beetle going towards the city, they understand it wants them to return to the village. Sunyuk thinks something might have happened there. Eddie thanks the
Napagod
beetle
ako.
and says they'll leave that place to the terror drones. Watching them
Sa
go, Jiha thinks
nglilinis.
that's the most he can do for now. The two run as fast as they can, hoping everything is okay in the village. Then Sunyuk is shocked, seeing corpses on the ground, saying that someone finally acted. Eddie recognizes the soldiers as Baron Brom's men. Suddenly, Sunyuk puts the sword to his face, making a vow of revenge.
Kasayo ba ni mo ng cellphone diha, Daniel?
Sunyuk swears to kill the bastard who took Eddie's woman and asks where they might be.
Palungan ng TV ng
Eddie suggests
cellphone
they
mo.
might be hiding in Amir's village. The scene shifts to a castle with people at the entrance, watching as others pass by. The saint is held hostage among the nobles. The fat man says that unfortunately, Idinsko wasn't with the group. Another man says it's fine because Idinsko will come on his own.
Oh, naglinis kami. Buti nga kayo, naglinis na sa... Sis, bayanihan pala. Bayanihan mi sis pag first Saturday of the month. Bayanihan sa buong paligid, kalsada na malapit sa amin. Yun. Nagtulungan kami, magkapitbahay. Tapos, pagkatapos, isang oras man lang, pagkatapos, isang oras to nga.
Sunyuk appears, asking why he thinks Ed is alone. He warns everyone that those who resist will be killed. Seeing Giant kneeling, he says there's no need to pretend any more than this.
Oo, o diba masaya. Masaya sis kasi habang naglilinis, chika-chika, hindi mo hindi mo na lang mamalayan. Malinis na, tapos na. Tapos, yung purok official namin magpa-snack pagkatapos. Dito kanya-kanya yung iba din dito na namin na mga purok. Alam mo yung purok sis, yung sa barangay. Yung iba dito hindi naman maglinis, kami lang. Kaya nga palagi kaming naka-award. Every year may award. Kaya palagi kaming nanalo. Pag manalo, may premyo kasi every year, once a year may manalo. Every year kami ang nanalo kasi kami dito team, nagtulungan talaga. Kahit senior na yung iba makisali sa amin, pero okay man lang yung hindi din tulong, lalo na yung mga matanda na okay man lang. Yung iba okay man lang, hindi naman Pero kami talaga sanay na. Kasi enjoy din pagkatapos magkape, mag-snack, may libreng snack, chika-chika. Once a month man lang, makipag-halubilo ka sa mga kapitbahay. Kasi yung ibang kapitbahay namin, hindi namin makausap kasi may mga work. Yung iba, dyan lang sa bahay nila kasi may mga baby. Pero pag magbayanihan kami, tulong-tulong sa paglinis once a month. Ayun, saya. Bawas stress. Kasi nakapagchika-chika ka, hindi mo maisip yung mga gawaing bahay. Oo. Libre ka pieces, libre pan, libre coke. Ayun, libre coke. Tapos, katulad ngayon, maya-maya tatawagin na naman ako dito kasi nagpasugba kami ng ihaw ng isda. Nagpaihaw kami ng isda.
Some of you commented that it might have something to do with the beetle since Bill had a golden light. Selena asked about the beetle, and Eddie explained that the creature's taken them in and out. Some of you told Selena to inform her God.
Dito sa Mindanao,
Smiling, she said she would try to find
Surigao.
and return to where he came from. Seeing this conversation, Gia said it was enough for
Malaki naman tong
and that he
Surigao.
would provide more information tomorrow. He told the terror drone that the day was long and he still had a lot to do. He called
Kami bilong kami sa
but then he remembered he was still in
yung municipality namin, Bislig.
confused and he noticed something that caught his attention. The griffin hunk had yielded much more essence than he had imagined.
Ikaw sis, taga saan ka ba sis?
Suyong's group was following the
Palagi na tayo nagtsikahan sis, pero hindi ko pala natanong sa'yo kung saan
paper started sticking
saan ka
to
pala
the
nakatira.
flying griffins and everyone charged in to finish them.
Oo
Agent activated
pala.
his sword surge,
Maganda
slicing
pala
through them in the
samahan.
sky. The group found it too
Oo
easy
nga
to
pala,
tolerate
maganda
the
pala
sun.
samahan
When
dyan.
it conjured a giant fireball,
Oo.
the creatures ran desperately, fearing for their lives.
Kahit ibang religion, kahit hindi Katolik, kahit iba-ibang
Then
relihiyon,
everything started to shake.
sumali sa amin. Yung iba, ayaw sumali, pero magbigay sila ng pakapi. Minsan, bigay sila ng coke.
They entered, wondering
Pero hindi namin hiningi. Ano lang, sila lang yung may kagustuhan yan.
possible. But William wanted to rush in and finish everything because she was confident. Hygiene convinced her, saying an unknown dungeon was extremely dangerous. The white-haired guy tried to calm her down, saying there was no need to hurry. Strangely, he stepped on something and stumbled, falling like an idiot in front of everyone. The girl came to suddenly, Suyong stepped in
Ormoc
front of
misis. Pero nasa Cavite na kami ngayon
same circle
lang.
they had encountered last time.
Nag-asawa. Taga dyan ang asawa mo. Okay.
The knight asked if they were sure if giants had to just continue. Ron warned that the prince would regret this. But
Ormoc.
against
Malayo din.
he approached and called for the baron.
Luzon ba yung Ormoc sis?
Giving him another chance.
Luzon,
He
Visayas.
placed the sword on the baron's neck, warning him to stop risking his life. He told him that his neck would be cut if he messed with those people again. With that, he turned to the knights and said they could go.
Ah, Cavite pala yung nasawa mo. Ang layo naman.
Looked back and again, and Innsbruck would pay for this. Songyuk expressed his
Ang
distress.
layo ng
And he seemed confused, and Songyuk said that giant
Ano
Rex
mo?
on the boy was too soft. But Jia was just watching everything, thinking that the king was a good person. Being able to help someone like that made him happy. He decided that
Yung
he
naging
would
asawa
guide
mo.
the god apostle. There were many
iba
creatures
talaga ang
that
tadhana sis. Kahit malayo.
He clicked yes, saying he would
Pag
help him now.
yan yung ano
The
sa
terror that said he was
ni Lord sa'yo, yun talaga. Magkikita at magkikita talaga kayo.
and the terror drone began to emerge in front of everyone. However, the creature was
Ah,
the two realized it was
malapit lang sa Tacloban.
With that, the terror drone pointed north. They immediately turned to the other knights and said they would follow him. On the way, they were sure it was related to the Griffin Valley incident.
Ako nga, ano man ako,
Just wanted to know when they were getting
yung asawa ko man lang taga dito.
terror drone stopped and stared at
Taga ano kasi kami, Bukidnon.
They wondered what he was doing. Then he
Pero
started
yung
outside,
ano,
creating a shockwave impact that made
yung ano talaga sa mga,
the terror drone's attack had broken a camouflage barrier.
ano bang tawag
Songyuk
nun?
scolded the creature, telling him
Sa mama at papa ko, Cebu talaga.
and he told him not to
Cebu.
be harsh because the creature meant well.
Napadpad sa
With that, the
Bukidnon.
terror drone flew away. The knights approached, asking if they were okay.
Nag-aasawa ko ng taga dito Surigao. Kaya napunta kami sa Surigao. Ako yung nakaasawa ng taga dito. Unti-unti, yung pamilya ko, dito na rin. Hindi nga natin alam yung tadhana natin. No? Pag yun yung binigay ni Lord sa'yo, bigla mo lang maano, makilala. Hanggang sa yun. Boom.
Prince and Sung-yuk stood in front of the man to protect him. However, they were unsure if they could defeat the creature. Growler bared his teeth and Eddie said he would go to the right.
Si Lord lang
Sung-yuk told him to
nakakaalam,
stay
kaya
put to save the
kung
princess
saan
and
tayo
first people.
mapadpad.
Facing Growler, Sung-yuk told Eddie to flee and ordered the citizens to leave the area. As Eddie
Magpasalamat
looked
na
back,
lang
he prayed
tayo
for
na
Sung-yuk
yung
to
ibigay sa
survive.
atin ni
Smoke
Lord,
from Growler
mabait.
exploded to the ground. Sung-yuk was confident.
Hindi tayo nabigyan ng pasaway.
However, a strange window appeared before him. The test of the howl had begun, and he had to prove his strength. Suddenly, Growler leaped toward him.
Oh, ang init na naman dito, nawala na naman yung ulan.
He noticed a shadow above him just in time. He barely managed to block the attack with his sword. Realizing the fight wouldn't be easy, he had to drop the paw and roll to the side to avoid being crushed. He muttered that it was too difficult. This was the test. It looked like he would have to get serious. He activated the anchor.
Pagkatapos ka na naglaba, sis. Yankee. May marami sa akin ditong labahin. Ano mo na? Isali mo na sa paglaba, PLBC ko. Charot. Hindi ko natapos kahapon. Ang nakakapagod na kasi ang dami pang ginawa kahapon. Hindi lang laba.
Giant and Eddie were at the front telling everyone to hold on until they reached the village. They knew they urgently needed a way to help Sung-yuk.
Masarap tumira dyan, sis, kaysa dito. Bakit? Oo nga, masarap naman dito. Masaya. Lalo na yung mga kapitbahay namin, minsan kalog din. Yung mga puro official namin, barangay official namin, sumali din minsan. Kahit yung barangay captain namin, magbigay ng ano minsan, pakain sa amin. Kasi once a month lang yun ano eh, reunited. Ah, okay. Sali mo ng labahan ko. Oo, malapit lang sa amin yung dagat. Malapit lang yung isda nga namin dito. Mura lang. Priskong prisko. Kasi nasa gilid lang ng palengke ang ano, mga boat na galing sa laot. Priskong prisko. Dami ng ano dito. Mga dayuhan. Sige sis, okay lang. Tapusin mo yung laba mo para masampay mo na. Salamat sa tsikahan. Maya ulit. Laba ka lang dyan. Kaya mo yan. Matatapos mo rin yan. He started running, saying he would save Eddie. With that, Joe was notified that the quest was over and that Growler was returning. Like before, he returned as a cute little dog. Jihad, happy to see him, held him. Relax muna.
Energy, he was smaller, and Jihad said
Patayin mo na yung TV.
saying he had missed him. Meanwhile, in the forest, the goblins were being slaughtered. Eddie's group was almost at the village where Giant told him to look back because someone was coming. I thought it was Sung-yuk, but it was actually an army of goblins buffed with red energy. Eddie turned to fight, knowing things would get more dangerous if the creatures entered the village. He easily killed several goblins.
Hindi naman ako nakatapans.
Inside, everyone was holding the gate, trying to prevent the creature from entering. But slowly the gate was breaking and the goblins outside were eager to charge in. The creature raised its mace,
Sana biglang mag-boom yung fans ko.
Looked to the side, sensing danger approaching. But it was too late. Sung-yuk had already passed it. Eddie was surprised to see his friend had arrived and half of the goblin lord's body fell to the ground. Sung-yuk smiled, asking if Eddie had been waiting for him. Now excited with his new sword, he was on top of a wolf. The remaining goblins fled in fear, and he asked when he got a wolf and a sword. Sung-yuk explained that he was recognized by that wolf. He dismounted, saying he would show what he meant. He touched the sword to the creature and said, "Cancel summoning." It dissolved into the air and returned to the mark on the sword. He explained that the giant wolf they had seen before was actually his guardian. He almost died, but in the end, the wolf said it was his destiny to give him the sword. He explained that the only strange thing was that this was the same sword he used in another world. This meant there was also a way for him to return to where he came from. Eddie said it made sense for him to have a guardian, since the gods would never support evil person like him. Suddenly the gate opened, and they turned around. It was Saint Selena running and asking if Eddie was okay. He said he was doing very well, and they had managed to drive the goblins away. Most importantly, it also found a lot of food. The princess thanked the
Diniros,
prince
dili
for
ka
his
sa
hard
lawas.
work, while Sonia complained that he deserved thanks
Electric
too,
pa na po kadek
since he
sa'yo,
worked
ha?
much harder. The Saint replied that it was nothing more than payment for the blasphemies he committed, and he told them to stop joking and come inside because everyone was hungry. With that, they headed back to the village. Jiha, observing, noted that everyone seemed to have made it.
Dalagi ako ni Papa yung
Looking
cellphone.
at Grower, he said they should also head back since he must be tired. They crossed the portal and Jiha called for Bia, who came happily. He showed Grower.
Asawa yung mga ano ko dito. Kasama, kahit saan lang ilagay yung mga medyas.
Immediately confronted him, asking why it took so long to open the door. He said he wasn't doing anything important. However, he invited everyone in, saying it was cold outside.
Hindi ko yung cowboy. Si Dr. Love. ml. Emang dyan. Emang dyan.
Na, ha? Nga ganun sa akin mo.
Tambay lang muna ako dito guys. Kasi may ginawa ko sandali. Medyo pagod kasi ako. Tambay lang muna ako dito. Hello, Kuya Elmer Ugay. Thank you sa pagtamsak. Good morning din sa'yo. Angie Mendoza, New Zealand. Hi sis. Nakatambay lang ako sa ano. Hello po. Kuya Elmer, thank you. Nag-relax muna ako kasi ano, napagod ako sa bayanihan namin. Ang aga-aga, 6 in the morning, nandoon namin sa kalsada, naglinis. Kaya topic for today's live, naglilinis ng kalsada. Bayanihan. Nagbayanihan kaming lahat, nagtulong-tulong sa linis sa kalsada. Shout out sa lahat. Hello, hello, hello. Sinsya na hindi ko na basa agad yung comment niyo. Kasi nagpa-relax muna ako sa gilid. Nagtambay lang. Kasi napagod ako sa kalilinis. Sa kalsada kami nagbayanihan, nagtulong-tulong magkapitbahay, naglinis. Salamat sa pagtamsak, Kuya Elmer. Di magpa-electric pan, Daniel.
Wala man.
Wala ka karon. search ba, Malo? So, si at friend pa. Langas.
Naa.
Sa?
Bot.
Sa pagtawag ani naman ni sa kuan.
Mara rin pa straight mamik.
Ha?
Bot ang sa basa mas mamik ako.
Asa na nawag ani?
Te, naging daw si Auntie Virgin, magpakaon na daw dito ay La Santa Maria daw.
Oh, batura ko.
Ilagay na mo ko.
Gad friend naman gud na ako, wala pa niya ako. Abot ko. Kunti na lang magdalawang oras. Painay Ragunadan.
Ayun.
Sig singgit-singgit generous nga nag-live ta nga wala ni nakamute.